Hey guys, it's TJ. Welcome back to my channel. Today we got kind of a little different. Taking a break from fishing today. My favorite time of the year, mine and Liam both, is coming up just in a few months. Hunting season. Bow season starts in Oklahoma. Meant to do that. Bow season starts in Oklahoma October 1st, runs through January 15th. So we are getting our deer feeder. We got some corn and protein mix, protein pellets. Usually early in the year. Not early in the year. If you do feed it throughout the year and you don't have food plots and stuff like that, you can use these protein pellets or anything like that. Deer absolutely love it right now. They're kind of in their bulking up phase and stuff. They're starting to grow their antlers. They should be, right now, if I remember right, they're still in full velvet. After they've grown back their antlers, they're covered in velvet and stuff. So here for too long, in about another month or two, they're going to start shedding that velvet. Being said, what we're doing today, we're going to set up a trail camera. This is my Moultrie Edge. It came out last year. It's brand new from last year. They probably have an updated version coming out pretty soon. It's a totally cellular camera. Sends pictures right to my phone from my app, 24/7, depending on how you set it up. Also, it is the first trail camera ever that does not require an SD card. I love Moultrie. I love all their products. I mean, I haven't really tried their batteries or anything like that, but I mean, I love their cameras. They're good, great quality. The Edge is awesome. Can't really have no complaints about any of this stuff. But anyway, so what we're doing is we're going to be setting up a trail camera, setting up our deer feeder, putting some deer feed out. Also, we have a deer attractant over here. That's called Buck Bourbon 110. Amazingly enough, at least in my area in Oklahoma, they are nuts over that stuff, like all year round. It's a really good attractant for deer, but I kind of put one out when I first put my deer feeders out to let them know and kind of get them attracted because it's a really strong. And yes, apparently it's kind of mixed with some bourbon or something. It really smells really good actually for that. And I mean, it attracts them from long range. I mean, the bag broke open because it's an old bag we had from last hunting season. And I'm more than bet you they can probably already smell it way back up in the woods. We're kind of in our old hunting ground this year, but in a new spot of our hunting ground because I hunt up northern Oklahoma, and the land that I hunt on is one square section, but it is so thick with woods. Give them a shot of that. It is so thick with woods. And a lot of this has not been cultivated or anything like that. I say cultivated, hadn't been worked or anything like that. So, the people that, maintain this land, they don't go in there and cut down all these trees. So we still have a ton of deer, big cats, mountain lions, or cougars, if you want to call them. Even though people say that there's not cougars in Oklahoma, I beg to differ. I was stalked by one in these very woods about 10 years ago. Now, I haven't seen it since, but it was very surreal and scary thing. But yeah, tons of coyotes and bobcats and everything in this area. So like I said, we are setting up today. All we're doing really today is, and we're also going to set up our deer blind today, but we're going to be checking and finding the perfect spot to put that, because this is, like I said, a new spot that we have not hunted. We have hunted this land, but we have not hunted this direct spot. We found this one at the end of, me and Liam were scouting at the end of last year, and we happened to find this nice little bottom, which is about 100 to 200 yards. No, sorry, it was about a quarter mile away from where we were. We happened to see it through binoculars. We saw a bunch of deer coming across. There's a creek bed where we normally hunted on the other side, which is on the west side of the property, and there's a whole big right of way, and across, about a quarter mile away, you could see that far. And we just saw a ton of deer coming across that other side on the east side of the property. We saw a ton of deer even when we were over there. Now, it could have been we were over there, they knew we were over there, so they went around us to avoid us. Could have been, never know, don't know, but we always saw more deer over here than we ever saw over there. So, and they're in this area that we know of. There is two really big deer here. One we've nicknamed Big Daddy and Big Mama. and one's a doe, one's a buck, of course, if you didn't get that. But got pictures of Big Daddy. If I can still have them on my app, I will show them to you here in a later video. And I'm hoping that he is here, because he was probably about a 5-year-old, fully mature deer, but he was probably about an 8 to 10 point, but every bit of 200 pounds. And he was huge, old mature deer. And the big doe that we saw, we nicknamed Big Mama. Actually, Liam came up with that name. She probably was every bit of 185, and just a beautiful mature doe. So we're hoping, after we get all this set up tonight, we're going to try to find the perfect spot to hunt from this area, because whenever you set up a deer blind, like a ground blind, you have to always think, yeah, you're kind of out of the elements, but you don't want to set up directly in their path to where they would see and know that it's something's out of the ordinary. Deer are very, very smart, and they can smell and hear you up to, well, I know I'm not hear you, but they can definitely smell you up to at least a mile away. And if they smell something that is not right when they're heading down that trail, they will backtrack and miss you by a mile just to get out of the way, just because they don't know what that is. Now, normally, if you're in there and they sneak up on you, they will kind of circle around behind you to kind of get downwind of you to see if they can find out what your smell is. And if they don't like it, they're gone. You'll hear them snort, wheeze, and they are gone. But in a little area like this, like I said, he will pan around right now and kind of show you this is a nice little bottom area. Go ahead and pan around. And it's good, but not always great. What I mean by that is, yes, plenty of open area, plenty of open lanes. So, I mean, if they come down in here and they happen to stand right here in your tree stand or deer blind set up right over there, yeah, of course, there's no obstructions. Your arrow is going to miss, or bullet, or anything like that. Only problem is, like I said, deer are very smart.
Let's kind of turn the sun in their eyes.
Oh,
The sun, yeah.
So, well, I mean, like I was saying, the deer are very smart. So, what I mean by that is, they're not always going to present you with the best shot, especially in this little area like this. How I mean by they're really smart is, they know to avoid open areas. It's just in their makeup. They know to stay away from open areas. Not saying that they won't come through. So if they come through an area like this, you really have to pay attention, because if they're coming through here and you're not watching, they will usually, what they do when they come into these areas, that's why I'm setting the deer feeder up here. Now, I mean, they may think that's kind of suspicious at first, but that's why you want to set your deer feeders up and your salt licks and your mineral licks and everything like that. You want to put all those out well enough time ahead. You don't want to go out there. Now, I'm not saying that you can't go out there like the day before you go hunting, because last year we did that before. We went out there the day before, threw out some deer corn, came back the next day, and luckily did see some deer. Not the mature deer. Those are going to be your younger deer, like mostly your yearlings, first years, or even the babies, the ones you're not wanting to shoot. I'm not saying you can't shoot them. Well, if the fawns still have spots on them, you can't. But that's against the law. But, I mean, not saying you can't if it's your son, daughter's, nephew's, niece's first deer and you want to just get them a deer. Cool. If not, but usually for, an older hunter, you want to get those bigger deer. More meat, bigger antlers, yada, yada, yada. But they know to avoid open areas like this, especially when it gets to the rut, and that's where the male deer, the bucks, are chasing those does to reproduce. And bucks especially, older bucks especially, know to stay away from open air. They usually only move from cover to cover. So like any of these clearings like you see here, if they're moving through this, if they do move through this at all, they're going to be running. If not, trotting. They're not going to be walking slowly, leisurely, unless, because whenever, not saying they can't, not saying they don't, but normally they know to move from thick cover to thick cover, and that's when you have to catch them, and that's when you have to get them to stop. So that's why, because whenever it's breeding season, when it's the peak of the rut, bucks are not worried about eating. They're worried about getting water and finding those does. They don't really care. You know, the does will come in too. So that's why whenever you set out a trail camera and you start getting pictures in it, right? Especially when it's getting closer to the deer season and stuff and getting closer to the rut. If you see does on there, but you're not seeing any bucks, you may see one here or there, don't be discouraged. The reason for that is because during the rut, those big bucks are going to be chasing those does. So the more does that you have at your feeder means the more bucks are going to be right behind them. So like I said, don't get discouraged if you're not catching big pictures. A lot of pictures of bucks right off the bat may take a few weeks, may take a few, you know. I think when we started doing pictures last year, it was nothing but mama doe and her 2 fawns, and we got pictures of them constantly at 3 different trail cameras that were placed about 500 yards apart. One was about a half a mile apart. Those 3 deer. But then as soon as it got close to rut, we started seeing more does, and then we started seeing those bucks come in there late at night following those does. So, like I said, don't be discouraged. It'll be all right. We'll get all that. But like I said, we're going to get started here because we're losing the light. We're going to get started. We'll hit back with you here in a little bit, kind of show you how to go through and set up some of this stuff like we do. And you can take it as you want it. You can either, set it up like I do. This is just the way I do it, and I've had success in the past. But of course, like I said, hunting and fishing and everything like that is still a learning curve. If you're not learning something, then you need to retire. I'm just joking. But like I said, yeah, we'll show you after we start getting set up. We'll start. I've already got the feeder here. It's at ground level. I'm gonna start putting some protein pellets in it. I'm gonna get this camera set up. I'll show you how to do that a little bit. I'll show you when we start setting up our deer blind and everything like that. But we'll hit back here in a little bit. This is protein pellets. I start those off like at the beginning of the hunting season, and then whenever we go into it, like more getting towards the rut and stuff like that, I will do just regular deer corn. Sometimes I'll do a deer corn mixed with protein powder and stuff like that. So yeah, this is a 50-pound bag. Bought it at Walmart. You can get it pretty much anywhere. But fill it up, and then you take it, and you kind of want to, because like I said, deer are smart. So whenever you do that, you fill the feed, and then you think they come into and they see, hey, that wasn't there before. Now that's why you start feeding them early. That way they get used to that food being there. But first off, if you're trying to do it, they may come in and look at it and be like, that wasn't there before. That's kind of suspicious. Don't worry about that. So what you do when you feed that, some hunters always say, I watched dozens of hunters. Some hunters say, oh yeah, don't put all the feed like right in one big pile. Do what you want. You can if you think it's going to work. And trust me, we have just thrown corn out in a pile, and trust me, it does work. They do come. But usually what I do whenever I get this full with what's left in the bag, I kind of take handfuls and just throw it around. Just kind of throw it all around. That way you're kind of peppering the whole area. And you can do it by hand. I've seen people where they've cut like a hole in the bag and kind of just spin around in a circle. That way it's kind of like a feeder would. Like I said, we're going to be upgrading our equipment one of these days, getting some better deer feeders and stuff. But right now, these, little deer feeders like we've got, the hang-on deer feeders, it's fine. But yep, you just want to kind of throw it in all directions, kind of peppering the whole area. I don't know if you guys know, but those automatic deer feeders, they can throw corn like way out there. So I mean, don't feel bad. In the whole area that we're at, this whole little bottom area, I'm gonna be probably throwing it out as far as I can. Just kind of pepper the whole area, because they will come in and that gets them to stay a little bit longer. And every time that I fill this feeder, I do the same thing. I usually bring out 2 bags, but right now we're just trying to get some camera pictures. So I mean, yeah, right now, that's all we're doing. But, yeah, Normally I would bring out 2 bags because I have a double feeder that holds up to 50 pounds. But normally I would just, with this one, I just fill it up and then I spread the rest of it around. And I would do the same thing if I was just using this one. I would just fill it with 1 bag of, deer corn. And the other corn, do just exactly what I'm doing. Spreading it around. Spread the wealth. Get more deer. And you will get not just deer here. You're going to get raccoons, possums, squirrels, bobcats, anything else that can eat this stuff. They are going to be here. So just be really ready for that. Squirrels and raccoons and feral hogs will empty your deer feeder quicker than a deer will. So just a few tips. So now we're setting up the trail camera. This again is the Moultrie Edge. It is a fully cellular camera. You know, and you pay a monthly bill, or I think that you can pay it annually if you want to. I just do the monthly right now because I only have 1 camera. It costs me $10 a month. You get 1,000 photos and 10 videos, and you can always buy more, like $5, get you like an extra 500 and an extra 5 videos or something like that. So what you have to do whenever you do it, you have to go on and set it up before you bring it out here, of course. I've already got mine set up, so all I got to do is just flip the little switch right here, and it'll come on, and it should connect. Like I said, and this is the great thing, like a lot of things it's showing connected and everything. Like I said, the best thing about these cameras is this is the first camera that does not require you to have an SD card, which is awesome. I mean, yeah, the camera, I think, and it's not really that expensive. Amazingly enough, it's really good for hunters on the budget. This camera cost me, I think, $99, and that was when it was brand new. So I mean, after that, I think you can get a twin pack now for like $129 for them. They're great. I think they are working on another one that is also no SD card fully, everything like that, which it works great. The quality of the pictures and the quality of the videos is awesome. The audio is great. Not much else I can really say about this camera. The Moultrie Edge is awesome. It's now connected. And actually, the good thing about it is what a lot of people don't know. Also, this Edge, it works with any cellular plan. Not cellular plan, but cellular data. Like before, you would have to go and they would have like 2 separate types of cameras. They were the same camera, but you would have one that was good for Verizon, or you would have one that's good for AT&T or whichever. The thing about it is and what a lot of people didn't tell me, what I had to learn the hard way, was what you do is you choose, if you are getting one of those cameras that you have to choose, you have to find the one that in your area. So wherever you're hunting, in that area, you want to choose the camera. It's not the camera that has your cellular plan. Like if it's AT&T or Verizon, like say you have AT&T, okay, but you don't have to pick AT&T. You want to pick, like say in your area where you're hunting at, like Verizon has a better coverage of that area. You're wanting to pick the camera that has the best coverage of that area, so you get the best pictures and the best cellular connection. It doesn't have anything to do with your current, plan. It's just which one has the best in that area. So rule of thumb, just let you know that if you're ever picking up a cellular camera, and they have the choice whether you're going to get like AT&T or Verizon or US Cellular or whichever ones you can do, pick the one. Go on your coverage map for your area. If you have AT&T, which AT&T is pretty dang good in Oklahoma. So, I mean, I would always choose AT&T because it pretty much has the most coverage out here in the middle of the woods where I'm at. It has the best coverage. Verizon doesn't. So, but I mean, in southern Oklahoma, it might be different. They may be Verizon. So you always get on your map whenever you choose it. Like if you have AT&T, get on your coverage map, put in your location on the map for your hunting area out in the middle of the woods, and see if they have good enough coverage. Otherwise, you're not going to get very good pictures. It won't connect very well, so it won't send you very good pictures, or if it'll send them to you at all. The camera will still take pictures, of course. It'll still act as a camera, but you'd be paying for something that, it won't send to your phone. So, you know, but that's the good thing about the Edge is it chooses and connects to the best cellular coverage out here. I think if I remember right, all Moultrie does. You don't have to pick. They've gone to that anyway. I think they used to where you had to pick the best one for your area, but now like they've gotten to where like it just chooses the best one for that area and it'll transmit it to you. So, hey guys, okay, we finally got the deer blind set up. This is just a normal ground pop-up blind, very easy to set up, staked in. If you look where I set this up at, a lot of hunters would say don't set it up like this necessarily. You want to brush these in really good. I have it sitting right next to a tree right here, kind of down limbs. What I'm probably going to do here for too long is come out and trim up some of those limbs or get some limbs from some other trees around here and put that on here to kind of camouflage it more into the side tree here. The one thing about it is this is more of like a trees camo, so it's not like the tan camo. So I mean it kind of blends in with the background a little bit, so sitting right here ain't gonna be too bad if you get out here early enough and they get used to it. But that's why I put this out at least a month or two in advance. This way they can get used to this smell, and it'll be rained on and everything like that, and that way it'll get that smell out of it, wash our scent away from it, and that way they'll get used to it being here. You know, for a month or two they won't get shot at or nobody will get killed or anything like that when they come in here. So I mean, by the time we come out here to hunt, if we don't make too much noise while we're in the deer blind, they're just going to think this is just normal, supposed to be here. They're going to get used to it, and they'll still wind up coming into this area. I have set up deer blinds in the middle of clearings before and let them out there for so long, and the deer get so used to it they don't think anything of it until you shoot one of them out of it. Then they can become a little more skittish around it. But yep, that is it for this. Really easy to set up. It just pops up. You take out the roof first, and then you pop out all the sides. Then you stake it down. There's usually stakes that come with this. I've left all my, I had 2 stakes, so it's staked down to the ground, kind of. I mean, it's not as tough as I want it to be, which I'm going to put more stakes into this thing. I got to run home and get them here in a little bit, and we'll come back out soon and probably put them up. But right now, this is good enough to be set up. And this is the only thing we're going to be doing out here for a little while. That deer corn is probably going to be gone within a week, if not less. Especially when they find out there's an abundance of food in here. They're going to come in here, and like I said, you're going to get creatures, not just deer, eating this. So, I mean, that, you know, we will be coming back up here probably like once a week to throw out some more deer corn. But we will be checking the cameras. I have that camera. If you show you right here, the camera's set up on that dead tree right there. It's shooting to the deer feeder over here, and then right behind that deer feeder, Liam has set up that buck bourbon. So, and I'm wanted the camera shooting back that way because you want the camera to kind of shoot like into an area where they're going to come in. So I kind of want to see which direction they're coming in from, so I get a good backdrop of that area, and it should, you know, show which way they're coming in. Because you don't want to, you know, if they're coming in from this direction over here where my deer blind set up, it's going to be good. Coming from the other direction is good, not bad. I just kind of want to see which way they're coming in and going out. So that's all that we've done today. And like I said, we will keep you updated with this property, with the property, but yeah, with the hunting grounds and everything like that. And as we go further into the fall and getting ready for hunting season, we're going to have some more fishing videos. We're going to try to fish throughout the year, but me and Liam really sure love hunting. So I mean, when hunting season starts over, it's probably going to be mostly just hunting videos and preparation videos and stuff like that, thrown in with a little bit of fishing or odds and end videos here and there. So if you like this stuff, if you want to know anything, let me know in the comment section. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to my videos, and I'll hit you back next time.
Wait, should we show them the inside?
Oh yeah, we can show them the inside. Go ahead, Liam, show them the inside. Tell them what's in there. It's got a bottom. It's got a zipper door on it. There's the inside.
There's the inside, guys.
You know, not too much right now. We don't have all of our stuff on there. We do have our 2 chairs set up in there, and they're sitting in there. And if you are subscribed to my channel and you know where my hunting ground is and you know me personally, you know I don't mind you using my hunting blind with my chairs and stuff like that. Just try not to steal it, please. Okay? I will, if you guys know me or anything like that, I don't mind anybody using my hunting grounds, hunting blinds. If you guys even know what kind of deer are out here, let me know. If you know the area that I'm in, I'm not going to say it because it is protected land and only a certain people are allowed to hunt out here. They have had problems with poachers in the past. So I'm not going to tell you exactly where it's at, but if you know me and you know where I hunt, then you know where this is. So if you guys want to know what kind of deer out here or anything like that, cool. I will keep you guys updated with the cameras and pictures we get off the cameras and stuff, and I'll show you some whenever we find them. I'll show you some pictures of the deer we got last year. All right, have a good one, guys.